the differences make the world go round. Could you imagine if we were all the same? What would eating be like down at, like I want to try
A little
like
bit of
different
sauce,
types
a
of
little bit of
food.
salt.
Yeah, so we like that. It's such a beautiful thing that you can create community through our differences of culture, but what is the same is we're all human and we're all like, we all have the same awareness. Like it, and this sort of connects me through to and the business is called Women in Bloom. We're actually online at the moment. We're on Facebook. So connect with us. So Women in Bloom is about aging courageously. It's about celebrating ourselves, 40 plus women, moving into our next stages of our lives and being okay with it, being actually celebratory about it.
Something you said, Alexis, really struck a chord. When you said you wanted to look like everyone else around you. And where do you think, like even Sandra, you mentioned that, and it's not the first time, like Sandra and I, we've been friends for a really long time. And it's not the first time you've mentioned that, arriving and being obviously very different, there was this need to fit in. Where do you think that stems from, like just from a human perspective? Because I hear that a lot. People just want to fit in.
I do think it's like an ancestral thing. We come from villages where it's all about community. I've just come across the awareness around blue zones. Have you guys heard about blue zones? So the 100 plus, Netflix has done a series on this and it's about blue zones. So it's about longevity. So anyone like these centenarians, like 100 plus, living amazing lives. Like, so they're still active, then, they're eating well, dancing, laughing and singing. But one of the core things in becoming a centenarian is community. So it's about feeling like you're a part of something and then also doing something meaningful day to day. So I think it's innate in us. But once we understand that as an adult, you then come to realize like it's community, but it doesn't have to be cookie cutter. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be the same, because really the differences make the world go round. Could you imagine if we were all the same? What would eating be like down at, like I want to try
A little
like
bit of
different
sauce,
types
a
of
little bit of
food.
salt.
Yeah, so we like that. It's such a beautiful thing that you can create community through our differences of culture, but what is the same is we're all human and we're all like, we all have the same awareness. Like it, and this sort of connects me through to so I've got two other projects I'm actually working on at the moment. One
Of course
big
you do.
one. Yeah, I'll tell you about that, the next one next time. But this one I do want to share. So I'm actually working with three other directors, and the business is called Women in Bloom. We're actually online at the moment. We're on Facebook. So connect with us. So Women in Bloom is about aging courageously. It's about celebrating ourselves, 40 plus women, moving into our next stages of our lives and being okay with it, being actually celebratory about it, like we have so much. And I spoke to Em a while ago around this space, and we have such big media influences on what, beauty standards are and aging standards are. And it is a minefield because we have our girls and children and, the youth of today that look at it and go, oh, well, I don't fit the model and I don't fit the mold. And so Women in Bloom is about empowering us to be okay with our differences and through aging. So this is where like a great opportunity for me to tell everyone that Women in Bloom is here, and we would love to connect with all people, and in particular women 40 plus, and all walks of life and all cultural backgrounds, to support each other on our journey into the next stage of our lives. Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm there. I'm there. Sign me up.
Women in Bloom. That is,
I
I feel
love it.
empowered just saying that. Women
100%.
in
And ladies,
Bloom.
you guys are our ambassadors. Like Em, Sandra, you are Bloom ambassadors every day of the week. Like, and it is about mentoring and sharing knowledge. It's
Mm,
not about, blocking anything. It's about what I know I will share, what I am
mm,
aware. I want the best for you. I want to celebrate you as a person. It's beautiful. And we as a community are holding hands to do that together.
oh, I
Absolutely.
love
Because
that. Yeah.
very much.
And
Because society tends to pit women against each other. They
Yes,
yes.
create conflict. And
Mm,
even when it's not there, oh, there's a rivalry here. Oh, there's a bitch fight there,
mhm,
blah, blah, blah. And,
mhm.
it's fake for starters.
yeah,
But,
Yeah.
if that's all you ever see, that's what, you tend to think, well, that must be normal. But
Mm,
women supporting women and, giving people a leg up when they can and,
mm,
telling someone they're beautiful might just make their day rather than,
100%.
you know, trying to pull them back down to
mm,
whatever level, lower than me. That's all I need. You don't have to
mhm.
go too far low, but I just feel a bit better if there's someone worse off than me. That's
Yeah,
no way to
I
live.
mean,
It's
this is where I
thriving.
think celebration is the key. Come together and
Mm,
have a glass of wine if that's your jam. If
yes.
not, then just eat with us. Like, sit down
Mm,
and celebrate the amazingness of who you are. And it doesn't have to be perceived success. Like, I think when you went, like, some people, like, I hesitate sometimes to talk about what I've achieved and where I am today, but you know like, if you understood the journey, and I think for those who are in entrepreneurship or doing projects and that, you get to see, you don't get to where you are if there hasn't been any scars or marks or
yes.
a few cuts here
Absolutely.
and there. So, like, I understand it. So when I see someone who's successful or standing up there, or a person of
Mm,
influence, I go, dude, you have done amazing things, and your
yes.
scars are deep, and they are, meaningful, and you have a story. And that's where I go, we don't have to be negative about it. We don't have to do the
Mm,
poppy thing. It's not required.
mm,
Celebration of the individual, even, the like, as in, for those who are struggling with mental health, like, just to
mm.
say, you got out of bed, that's awesome. Like, you
Yeah.
Yeah.
managed
Yeah.
to, do something today. So we have to celebrate
Mm,
everyone. And women coming together to do that is powerful.
yeah.
Very
I
much so.
find, and again, we talk about mainstream media and because, we are consumers of content. And when we consume content, our thoughts and our processes, the way we see life is shaped by what we hear. And the conversations we have as people, it's also shaped by what we see on TV or hear on the news. And I feel each time I turn on the TV, I am bombarded by an anti-aging advert. Anti-aging. Oh, wrinkles this, wrinkles that. And it just, I don't get it. I don't get why there's such an there's such an it's so funny. There's such an anti and against aging. It's
Against
like it's
aging,
an
yes.
anti. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to acknowledge it. We want women to go through surgery so that they look 20 when they are 60. And it's where's that celebration? Where's that
Actually,
celebration
quite
of
sad, isn't
the
it?
sick? Yeah, it is sad. It is sad.
Mm.
There's so much wealth that there's knowledge and wealth that you gain as you grow older.
Yeah, so we,
And
like, I think culturally, those villages would look at the elders, and a part of the Aboriginal culture, they have elders. So the idea is
yes,
to have the grey and to have the
Yes.
sage and the wisdom
Mm.
and yeah, to celebrate that. And then we've, for somehow, whatever reason, which I don't understand, we're now, you know, against that wisdom and the sageness, and, you know, wearing a couple of scars or a few wrinkles, it means you've lived life. You know, you've actually had plenty of experience, and we do need to celebrate that and the beauty of what it means to get there, not something
Yes.
negative. Like, you know, I would love to have L'Oreal Australia or L'Oreal globally say to me, hey, we totally get what you're trying to say, and we'd love to do, you know, a range around moisturizing but
Mm.
still maintaining youthfulness
Mhm.
versus, you know, trying to reverse age. You know, it's about just
Yes.
keeping yourself healthy and
Mm.
being vibrant. Like, why
Mm.
can't we have those type of advertisements on,
Yes.
you know, TV or news? So this is why sometimes I turn off the TV.
I'm
I
with
do
you.
not blame you at all.
So, do you think it's, you were saying what's behind it? Is it
Mm.
fear, do you think?
Look,
Mm.
I really
Fear of
do think
losing
it is.
relevance maybe in this society?
No,
Hmm.
it
Then,
is. Hmm.
but why women though? Because we don't see
True.
any, with men it's all silver fox. It's he's wearing his age well. And with
Yeah,
women it's, oh no, let's hide her. So I find women are not allowed to age. Men are allowed to age.
that's exactly right. There is a perception that you don't. Sometimes it can be perpetuated from generation to generation,
Mm,
which is kind of a hard one to break. But it's got to start somewhere, right?
mhm.
The women's rights movement, you know, us being able to have the vote, it started somewhere. So for me, and what Women in Bloom is encompassing is that, like, age courageously, wear your wrinkles, and, you know, wear your, but in a way that is fulfilling,
That's
in a way that's fulfilling. It's not about, you know, I'm just going to not worry about life, or, you know, we still need to maintain a level of health and,
Yes.
you know, and be energized in what we're
Mm,
doing. No one's saying, you know, just don't leave the house and become this, like, you know, blob, because that's not going to help, right?
mm,
But it's about celebrating at every stage. You know, it's okay to get the, you know, the silver fox line, that we
mm.
should be saying we're silver foxes too. You know,
Yes.
yeah, check out uh, my greys and that sort of thing, and it's okay. And I think we are moving that way. I think
Mm,
women, because we're starting to see a lot of, like, when we put the word out for Women in Bloom, like, we're, you know, Women in Bloom is 2 years in the making from a social media perspective, like being online.
mm.
We've got 5,000 followers,
Wow.
you know, globally and within Australia, and they're all like, yes, you know, these are my people. They're celebrating the fact that I've got a few, you know, crow's feet on the side of my eyes. And, you know, these lines aren't actually wrinkles. They're like smile lines, and I'm actually loving life.
you can smile because you haven't been Botox. I don't get that, but
But
anyway.
this is the thing. We don't want to make you feel bad if you know, you want to use Botox, or you think, because it's about empowering you to feel good about whatever it is that you decide to
Mm,
do.
mm,
We love everyone, but
mm,
don't feel it to the detriment of who you are. Do you know
mm,
what I mean? Like,
mm,
it's not about doing something because someone told you
mm,
that if you do that,
You
you'll,
have to. Mm.
yes. And
mm.
there
Or
is a
you're
big,
judged.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a big,
And
big thing out there. Like, I was talking to one of our founders, and she's like, there is a group of women down the Gold Coast who have partners who encourage them to go and get the Kardashian, you know, cut out, cookie cutter out
mm,
bodies and physiques at, and you kind of go, hey, you don't need to do that unless you want to. And
Yeah.
it's self-empowerment versus someone, kind of pushing you into what you perceive as, beauty in the eyes of whoever. If it's your jam, do it. But if it's
Yeah.
not, I would suggest it's okay. It's okay. And that's where the empowerment comes into play. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it's about, you touched on something really important, choice. It's
Yes.
about choice, and it's about women being allowed, and I'll say allowed because at times society can really be restrictive, but it's about women being allowed to age gracefully as they want. And if someone decides they want to have something done to their face or to their body, it is what they want to do. For, it's their choice. But when
Correct.
people, and I see in but and we can talk about this because it's such a world away from ours, but we see this in Hollywood where aging actresses, when they look more youthful, like they get a facelift or whatever, I don't even know the right terms that they use, but when that happens, they start getting more movie roles. So what message is that sending?
Correct.
What message is it sending? But we still see male aged actors acting as they are, weight gain and all and everything. They still appear on screen, but God forbid a woman appears on screen as herself. It's
There's a
it's
lot of
just,
backlash around that as well.
yeah.
Like, I think it comes back to the whole concept of women celebrating each other. Because,
Mm,
like, what is the purpose of degrading someone or speaking
yes.
negatively? It's about supporting them at whatever um, physique that they're happy with. Do you know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
not so much I am saying that you fit the mold or you don't fit the mold. It's just that whole, what are you feeling? What are you going
Mm,
through? And it's
mm,
okay, because it's not my place to judge you. It's not my place. My place is
yes.
to celebrate you and say, hey, you're gorgeous at whatever stage of your life. And if we can do
Exactly.
that now in sort of the 40 plus, what is our girls and the next generation, even our boys, are going to be like, let's celebrate everyone. Let's not worry about
Yes.
this cookie cutter approach to what, you know, because different cultures have different perceptions of what
Mm,
beauty is. Like, I
yes.
know within the Asian community, it's about porcelain skin and,
Mm,
making sure that you don't have any blemishes and that, you have this, I think they talk about glass skin and all that sort of
yeah.
stuff. And I'm like, maybe 0.001 of the population, and they have been blessed with some sort of genetic wand, right? Whereas, it's okay that you don't have that. But if you
Yeah.
love you and you do it from such a beautiful place, it doesn't matter what you look like, as long as you're mentally, physically, and emotionally happy with who you are. That's what the
Mm,
strive is, right? And
mm,
when our girls hear that, and anyone hears that, it's a massive awakening.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You put them in a
Yeah.
room and you go, well, we're going to celebrate you just because
Mm,
you're you.
yes.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
that's my goal. I'm
Ah,
like, let's hit billions of people through Women in Bloom, and you ladies are on board.
yes.
I'm
Oh
like
And
my
you
having an
know,
God.
Oprah moment. You get a car, and you get a car, and
yes.
yeah.
Everyone gets a car.
Yes.
Love
I
it.
Yeah, you've reminded me of I've got an aunt, my um I call her Sisifari, which means sister. Um but it's a respectful way of calling her, and Sisifari would say said something to me that I'll never forget. I think at that time I was probably 16, and I'm from Zimbabwe, and my my body is I'm very curvy. I'm a curvy girl, and I remember
Beautifully voluptuous, we'll call it.
yes. And I remember her telling me that because she used to be a model. She did a lot of modeling. She's tall and she's absolutely stunning. And she was telling me that there's a mold that has been created in the fashion industry of what a woman should look like.
Yes.
And this has been created by men, mind you. So women have not been included in this. And this mold is what they use to make clothes. So it's like you know how if Lint is making the Easter bunnies, they've got the shape of the Easter bunny and they just pour the chocolate and yes. And
Yep.
someone decided this is a size 12, this is a size 14, this is a size 10, and the ideal is a size, someone made those decisions, and there are stores that will not stock anything above a size 14 because women should not be above a size 14. But if clothes are made in a certain way, they're not going to fit they're not going to fit me at
This
all.
is exactly what I mean. It's that cookie cutter approach.
It is, yeah.
And then I starve myself so that I can be a size 10, but my body cannot be a healthy size 10.
Yes. And that's exactly right. And you don't need, because there is no standard. And if you go to 7 different stores, the sizes are all over the place. And it should be about what looks amazing on you.
Yes.
And what actually complements you
Mm.
versus I'm in a size 2 or a 4 or 8 or 10 or whatever it is. It's such a backwards way of looking at, body and shape and beauty and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Em. So this is why I reiterate, you and Sandra are Bloom ambassadors every day of the week.
Well, I think Em's still under 40, aren't you? You're a 40
you?
under 40.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
just
Right,
still
we'll
under
let you in.
40.
An honorary member. Goodness gracious, Em. You're a baby.
She is a baby.
A very mature baby.
You have achieved so much that people think that you must have needed a bit more time to do it, but you
Bless
have
Em.
done some amazing things.
Oh, thank you guys. I think on that note, this has been such an incredible conversation. And I think as women, when we support each other a little bit more, a little bit less judgy and more empathy, I think our communities will be better, because I really believe women have a great influence on how societies and communities are shaped. We do see a lot of men in power, but the voice of the woman is always really, really strong. Alexis, before we wrap this up, do you have any empowering thoughts, empowering words you'd like to share for women to be truly in their own bloom?
Well, for me, very much be courageous in everything that you do. Stand front and center where you can and celebrate you from the heart. It's such an empowering concept. It's just sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to do, but know that there are other women out there who will hold your hand and support you in your journey. Well, not just women, everyone. Just ask and speak to that truth.
Just ask,
Yes.
speak, and celebrate yourself from the heart. There is
100%.
absolutely, there's
Thank
nothing
you
else to
so
add to
much.
that.
It was such
Enjoy
a
standing
beautiful
out.
conversation. Beautiful.
Oh,
Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
opportunity.
thank you, Alexis,
Oh,
for
it's a pleasure.
joining
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if you've got any contributions to make towards this conversation of among friends on women and being allowed to age gracefully, do send us a note. Would love to hear your thought. On that note, we are going to retire for the night and get our beauty sleep on, because a healthy body requires a healthy sleep.
100%. I would
everyone.
totally agree.
Thanks everyone
Thank you,
for tuning
ladies.
in. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.